Welcome to Dodgers Dogs. As part of the Dodgers Daily Network, Casey Porter here, joined by Mark Watkins, as I am each and every Tuesday and Thursday. Mark, great game last night. Ha-Seong Kim. It was kind of interesting because the A's had their young kids on display on, Tuesday night. The Dodgers were like, oh, yeah, well, watch this. Try on some Ha-Seong Kim and Andy Pages, right? So this has been kind of fun to watch, hasn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, it was great to see him bounce back, and Ha-Seong Kim showcased his abilities in different ways, first beating out that ground ball, with the speed, and then made a great defensive play, saved a run, and then showed some power, driving that ball over the fence. So that was fun to see. And then Pages, of course, he's been hitting really well, coming around and crushed that home run and had a couple other hits. So, yeah, it was great to see the young players come through for him.
Yeah, and, those are the results, and we talk about process results all the time. Andy Pages got to that inside pitch. That's the one I'm always worried about with him because he leans out over the plate. He usually pulls that outside pitch. Seeing him get to that inside fastball, then he's getting to pitches with two strike counts. He's getting to curveballs. He's getting to fastballs. He's getting to every type of pitch. So Andy Pages has just been ridiculous.
He has been. He's showing ability to make adjustments and adapt, which for a young player, obviously that's really important. So he's as you said, he's hitting everything. He's using the whole field. He goes to right field when he needs to or center field. So he's really come on strong.
I think the most impressive thing about Ha-Seong Kim, of course, we saw him slide. But did you watch the transition from glove to throw and then how much he actually got on his throw after he threw it? I mean, that's the impressive part to me is that transition.
Yeah, I did notice that. He has, those quick infielder hands that are necessary to, get that ball and release it quickly. And he has a really strong arm. I didn't know his arm was that strong, actually. So that was good to see. Very
impressive defender. I mean, I would trust him in Game 7 of the World Series. Right now, I know Tommy Edman's a Gold Glove guy, but I would not hesitate to make Ha-Seong Kim the everyday. I said it at the beginning of the year, hey, if you want to make him the everyday shortstop at some point, I have zero problems with it because we've seen the arm strength. We've seen the ability to get from one place to the next, and as far as his quickness and all that. So, okay, let's back up a little bit. I haven't talked to you. Tell me what you thought about the Landon Knack outing. We'll get to last night here in a minute, but what you thought about Landon Knack?
Well, obviously he struggled a little bit. I think he was having some issues with his command here and there. And for a guy like him, I think he really has to have his command or he's going to struggle because he doesn't have overpowering stuff. And he usually is really good at changing levels on pitches, going with a four seam high in the zone and then dropping down with a breaking balls lower in the zone. But he just didn't seem to have his command, and he made some mistakes, obviously, and it cost him.
Yeah, last night was a much better night. It was a lot funner tonight. Hey, and I'll tell you what, I'm very impressed with the A's. I have no animosity towards the A's. Dodgers come out, Shohei Ohtani does his thing. He hits a home run. Andy Pages goes yard. And I'll be darned if the A's don't come right back. I mean, I'm very impressed. I know the Dodgers pulled away last night, but the A's are an impressive team and fun team to watch to me.
Yeah, they have a young, scrappy team, and they have some talent on that team. So they're not going to just roll over for. They have the best road record in baseball, which shows that they have some tenacity. But they have some good young talent on that team.
All right, what'd you think about Yamamoto last night? I thought, me personally, I didn't see it was a hanging breaking ball. Yes, it was the middle of the plate, but I mean he was trying to steal a strike with it. So second time through, Soderstrom, he had thrown. I think he had thrown to 10 hitters at that point. 8 of them had been first pitch fastballs. He had only, I think Suarez was the only hitter he had thrown a first pitch curveball to. So I don't think it was as much of a hanger as it was just hey, I'm going to steal a strike with my curveball here, so then I can kind of change up my sequencing and just give Soder some credit. I mean, either he knew it was coming, he's really good at adjusting, or I don't know. But I tip my cap to Soderstrom.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if he just guessed right or what, but as you said, Yamamoto hadn't been throwing first pitch curveballs, and maybe he just guessed right on it, and I got a hold of it. But sometimes you have to give the opposition credit in a situation like that.
What'd you think about Yamamoto overall?
Overall, he pitched a really strong game. He was commanded the ball well, and obviously had a good amount of swings and misses as opposed to his last outing, I should say. He wasn't getting the swings and misses in his last outing. I don't know if it was the movement or the velocity, but this time it was much better. This time around it's much better.
Yeah, I mean, you give up a 2-run home run, 3 runs in total. I really thought, results are what they are, 3 runs, but I thought Yamamoto was terrific. I thought he pitched like an ace last night.
Yeah, he did. Other than that home run to Soderstrom, and he gave a couple hits down the line. He was really strong overall. We can't expect him to go out and post zeros every time he comes out. I know he had that streak where it was, I don't know what it was, 32 innings or something like that, where he of scoreless ball. But it was a good outing for him.
Were you surprised at all at Sasaki going on the IL? I think we've talked about it on several different occasions. We kind of saw something like this coming, but were you surprised?
Not too surprised, no. As you know, we know that his fastball velocity's been down a little bit, and there was talk that the Dodgers were purposely trying to keep him not to overthrow and keep his fastball velocity down, but obviously that didn't work for him in his last outing. So if they need to make some adjustments, it's better just to put him on the IL and make those adjustments and maybe not have to send him down to the minor leagues. So.
Yeah, I would totally agree with that. You kind of hinted at that last time. I think you were right on the money there. So the Dalton Rushing thing, I mean, if you caught on to our interview with Dalton Rushing last week, he told you point blank, hey, if I go up to major leagues, I'm probably going to be catching 2 days a week. It's not going to be an outfield situation. So your thoughts on the Dalton Rushing situation?
That's exciting. I've been waiting for the day they would call him up. Been watching him since he got drafted, and I've seen him in spring training and in Quakes games, and he can hit. I mean, the ball comes off his bat differently. So I'm super excited to see him come up. And Dave Roberts said that he doesn't expect he'll be playing in the outfield. I haven't seen him personally play outfield, so I don't know how good he is out there, but we know he's good defensively as a catcher. So I expect that he'll, as Robert said, get a couple of starts a week, and then he can come off the bench and pinch hit. So he'll get some good experience that way.
So you're Dalton Rushing. You're the number one prospect. You've got all these people that have heard about you for so long. You're supposed to be this great hit tool guy, which you always have been. And by the way, you're replacing Austin Barnes, who caught the last out of the 2020 World Series. A lot of pressure on this dude, isn't there?
Absolutely. It's sad to see Austin Barnes go. He's been there, I think, 11 years, and he's been a big part of the team. And they've described him as kind of a glue guy in the clubhouse. I know they have a lot of respect for him. So definitely sad to see him go. And if he wants to keep playing, I hope he's able to catch on with another team. Mm-hmm. But for sure, there's a lot of pressure on Dalton Rushing to come in, and I think he threw to Kershaw when they're minor leagues. So I think you mentioned to me that Kershaw may have put in a good word for him there, and that could have been this could have been the result of that, him getting called up. Yeah.
So just kind of your overall thoughts on do you think the organization made the right decision? I mean, do you think they maybe jumped the gun a little bit, or where are you at on that?
No, I mean, I think at this point, obviously Austin Barnes, for whatever reason, is just hasn't been able to throw runners out this year virtually at all. I don't know if his arm is hurting or something like that, or I don't think age is necessarily a factor, but there's something going on there. And his hitting has also regressed because he's having more strikeouts and less walks this year. So I think the timing is right to get Dalton Rushing up and get him some experience for later in the season when they have the stretch run in the playoffs.
I think the biggest point of that, too, Austin made it last night on our live show. He's a year and a half away from his pension. The Dodgers can't hold Dalton Rushing back for a year and a half. They didn't need to hold him back. I think if he was due for his pension like in July or something like that, or maybe close to what Chris Taylor is, then they could have said, you know what, hey, we'll just wait until then we'll figure it out at that point. But there was no logistical way they could wait another year and a half to keep Dalton Rushing in the minor leagues.
No. He's ready. I mean, he's done. I think he's proven everything he can in the minor leagues. So he's. The Dodgers used to have a saying where you got to like kind of knock the door down to get into the major leagues, and I think he's shown that he's ready to come up and play. And the only bad thing is there's not like a regular position for him to play every day. With Freeman at first and Ohtani at DH, and obviously Will Smith at catcher. So he's unfortunately going to have limited ability to make starts, but hopefully he'll make the most of them.
And Hunter Fiducia is waiting on any kind of injury to either one of them, whether it be Will Smith or Dalton Rushing. That would be Hunter Fiducia's role. But I'll tell you what, if they can figure out a way to get Dalton Rushing, say 15 at bats a week, and then he catches a couple of those a week, and then he gets to catch a game or two in the World Series, that's a pretty damn good experience for a rookie, man.
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully it'll come to that, and but he's not going to get the same experience, obviously playing in AAA. So it's going to be valuable for him as the season goes along.
Man, we get to see it all the time at the lower levels. You get to see it at Rancho. I get to see it in Oklahoma City. There just gets to be a point to where guys are just spinning their wheels. That's kind of like me with James Outman. He's been terrible at the major league level. It's paralysis by analysis. He can't figure out which pitches to swing at. He's not swinging to the bat with aggressiveness. But still, what's kind of this is proving, and I said this at the beginning of the year, there's no reason to send him back to AAA because he's going to come back to Oklahoma City. He's going to do well. And then he's not going to be fixing any of the problems that actually happen at the major league level, because what he's having problems with is the pressure of knowing if I don't get in a hit this game, I'm not going to play tomorrow. That's the problem with James Outman, and that doesn't get fixed at the AAA level. So kind of what I'm saying is you see these guys, they start spinning their wheels at whatever level they're at, and they need to get promoted, and if they can't get promoted, they're not in a position to get promoted, then they need to get moved to somewhere else and someone else who can promote them. I think that's where James Outman's at this point. More so than anything, Dalton Rushing was there. He had done everything he needed to do at the AAA level. He was getting ready to get to a point where he was going to spin his wheels at AAA.
Yeah, I agree. And with Outman, it's probably just, as you said, more of a mental thing. And some guys, they're kind of become 4A type players, where they're too good for AAA, but not good enough for the major leagues. And sometimes, it just takes a change of scenery. I mean, we went through that with Bellinger. He fell into a rut and he couldn't right himself. And sometimes, maybe it's a new organization, change of scenery, a new hitting coach kind of, gets in their ear and puts them back on the right track. But Bellinger turned things around, and obviously he was more accomplished than Outman is. But maybe maybe a change of scenery would do him well. I don't know if he's ever going to succeed with the Dodgers, unfortunately.
I agree with you there. I'm totally on that. What that is, what it is. I just don't want to see him in Oklahoma City. I just don't see the point of that. If you're going to send him back down to Oklahoma City, designate him for assignment, let him go on the trade block, let somebody else have the chance to pick him up, and let him have the chance to go somewhere else. That's what I'm saying about him versus just optioning him back down to AAA Oklahoma City. Especially seeing that, look at the outfield jam. You're talking about Mike Sirota not even being in the starting lineup for the Great Lakes Loons because they have Kendall George, Josue De Paula, Zaire Hope. So you have four incredible outfielders at Great Lakes. Cole Myers just got promoted up to AA when Jose Ramos gets healthy. You're going to have him, Jose Ramos. You're going to have Chris Newell and Damon Keith, who all need at-bats. You just went and got an outfielder for Oklahoma City. You have Ryan Ward. You got Justin Dean. You got Estuary Ruiz. There is a massive logjam in the outfield for the Dodgers already. And then if you're going to bring a guy back down that you already know is going to be good in AAA, but then when you send him back up to major leagues, it's a whole different story. I don't see the point in adding James Outman to that logjam.
Right. It's it's kind of a good problem to have in some way. The Dodgers have that depth and a lot of outfielders in particular playing really well for them in the minor leagues. But at some point, guys become progress stoppers. And James Outman, I think, is starting to fit into that role. Unfortunately, I would have loved to see him continue to have success with the Dodgers, of course, but it just doesn't seem to be happening. And I have my doubts that it ever will, unfortunately.
Yeah. Tell you who is having success lately. Well, not lately, his entire career, but Try this on for size for a decision. Should we pitch to Shohei Ohtani, or should we walk in and pitch to Mookie Betts? I mean, you talk about a terrible decision to have to make. And to be honest with you, I think the A's made the right decision last night, despite the fact that probably fired up Mookie.
He was definitely fired up, and you like to see some fire like that in players, and so it makes you want. I heard that I think he was in situations where they intentionally walked Ohtani. He was 3 for 4 with a couple home runs or something like that. But he was really fired up, and that's good to see. I mean, like you said, I don't think it was necessarily the wrong decision to walk the best player in baseball, but Mookie is obviously also a superstar, and he takes it personally when that happens.
I'll take it further. I think he's the best player in our generation. Talking about Shohei Ohtani, just with all the different things he can do. Great to see Muncy hit the big 3-run bomb.
Yes, yeah, he needed that, and I'm sure that must have felt good, because you could see earlier in the game him getting frustrated when he popped the ball up, and he needs that. Hopefully it'll get it back on track and get him on a roll. Any
concerns about the bullpen? Kopech had another one of those roller coaster rehab outings last night. For Oklahoma City, didn't finish his entire inning because of pitch count, walked a guy, gave up a 2-run home run. It wasn't as bad as the box score looks, but what are your biggest concerns about the bullpen right now?
Well, I mean, it's not ideal. Fire Eisen is struggling. Obviously,
yes.
He's I don't know if he's going to be able to turn it around or not. You would love to be able to replace him with a healthy and Kopech, who's pitching well. So hopefully that'll happen before long. And then Luis Garcia is pretty inconsistent, so I have some concerns about him. But hopefully we'll get Kopech back, and then some other guys trying down the road. So the back end of the bullpen is not as strong as you'd hope it would be. But I mean, it's most teams the back end of their bullpen is not that strong. The Dodgers, just because of injuries right now, are going through that.
The Dodgers had like a team bullpen, then they had a 1A team bullpen. Then they kind of had all the other guys. Well, what they have now is still an 18 bullpen with the Yates and Scott and Vesia. And then they kind of skipped that second A level. And now they're kind of, although Ben Kasparius and Jack Dreyer and at times Anthony Bonda have been okay, but there's a bigger gap between the top 3 and then everybody else.
Right, and I think some of their guys have been a little consistent, like Yates, for instance. But I think as the year goes on, they tend to get on a roll at some point and get in a groove, so to speak. All those cliches, but I think they'll turn it around and get on a roll and really start, shutting other teams down.
All right, man. Let's not waste any more time. Then let's take a trip down on the farm. And you're seeing right here is Double-A Tulsa right-handed reliever Antonio Knowles. Dive into Antonio Knowles, whatever you want to say about him. I know you've been watching him for a while.
Yeah, I know he struggled early on, but he's really turned things around, and he's pitching very well now. I think, is it 11 innings he's gone without giving up a run now?
It is.
He's really turned things around and pitching very well for the Drillers. So once you get up to that, Double-A level, that's I think the biggest jump, they say, from high A to Double-A. So with him pitching very well now, he could project as a valuable piece for the Dodgers at some point in the near future.
He has been in Double-A for a long time. He's been due for Triple-A promotion for quite a while. Antonio Knowles, young man out of Key West, went to Stetson. Actually went JUCO, then went to Stetson. He is a big friend of Dodgers Daily. He's come on several different times. So from Antonio Knowles, this is another reliever with Double-A Tulsa, Kelvin Batista, young man with a lot of positive, infectious energy, a lot of fun to watch.
Right. It's always great to see a lefty come, pitch as well as he has been. And he turned things around, much like Antonio Knowles. He struggled at the beginning, but he's looking like a guy who could possibly, contribute at the major league level with the way he's been pitching recently.
You can never have too many left-handed relievers. You can never have too many left-handers, period, but certainly whenever they're relievers. I want to throw one more in here. We didn't have him on our notes, but this is Jermaine Rosario, and I'll go ahead and take him. This is a guy who's been a starter, and he has electric stuff, 97-mile-an-hour fastball, can touch an 8, maybe a 9 every now and then. Electric secondary stuff. But he's been the guy, if you follow Dodgers Dawgs as part of the Dodgers Daily Network, he's been the guy that'll go out and throw like 7 innings of no-hit ball, and then the next outing can't get through like 2 innings. It's just been the up and down roller coaster. So I think they can take that 97-mile-an-hour fastball like they tried to do with Ronan Kopp and just tell him to max out in 1 or 2 inning segments, occasionally make him a bulk inning guy, and then see that slider there. If he just maxes out on everything he does, his stuff goes from electric to really electric, and now we have a guy that doesn't have to conserve. Maybe you get rid of some of the inconsistencies from Jermaine Rosario. I love the fact they put him in relief. This was his first relief outing ever in the minor leagues. I like the idea. What do you think?
Yeah, sometimes that helps when a guy goes from a starter to a reliever, and they could just let it all loose and throw as hard as they want to. And he looks good there. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Ramon Martinez.
Does right? Good comp there. Yeah, man. He throws a lot like him too. He's a good guy. He's a good dude too. I've had a chance to talk to him on a couple of different occasions. So yeah, really, really, really good dude. This right here is a young man that just got promoted. I don't have any film, I don't think, of him at Double-A Tulsa yet, but this is Cole Myers. Got promoted. I think everybody thought I was going to be DePaula or Hope promoted to Double-A. It was Cole Myers. The reason is because he's 24.
Right. Okay. Yeah. He's I've been following him a little bit, and he's been hitting the ball well and using the whole field as he did right there. Has some power. He's doing well. Nice to see him get promoted.
Yeah, no doubt. Young man out of Troy again. The reason why he got promoted again because he's 24 years old, and then also he leads all the minor leagues in base on ball percentage. So he's doing a very good job of using his speed by getting on base. His batting average isn't huge, but the WRC plus is because of how much he's gotten on base. So this is another young man that just got promoted to Single-A Rancho Cucamonga, Mike Sirota.
Right, and I know he's one of your favorite players, and mine too, just because of his all-around game, his athleticism and speed, and he's been crushing the ball, using the whole field, hitting for power. So he's definitely exciting to see, and it was a well-deserved promotion for him.
Yeah, first pitch he saw in Great Lakes in front of all the kiddos. It's field trip day. He banged a base hit. Guess where? Right up the middle. Had 3 hits in his debut with Rancho Cucamonga. And so Mike Sirota, super exciting. Hey, welcome back, Joindry Vargas, who had been on the DL for 7 days, a 7-day DL. Hit a home run last night and his return back. Exciting to have Joindry Vargas back in the fold.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see him because he's another guy who has that all-around game, speed and power. And, he's, Myro has been playing shortstop, Myro Martinez, so they played him at third base, which it's good that he has that he'll develop that versatility because he was a shortstop coming up, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, then they have several different shortstop types on. I mean, guys like you've never even heard. They have Elijah Hainline and Kellen Lindsay, and this is Myro Martinez, who you mentioned just a minute ago. He's a shortstop type. So they have a lot of guys that can play that. But this is Martinez. What I really like about him, he impacts the ball. This was, by the way, his very first affiliated home run.
Wow, yeah, he's been crushing the ball too. So, as you said, they have a few young infielders on the Quakes who have really been hitting the ball well, and he's one of them. But, it looks like he has some good pop there.
Yeah, I can't wait to get you out there and get some video, maybe some interviews of these guys on the net. Won't be this homestand, but the next homestand, it sounds like. And a guy we haven't talked enough about, sweet left-handed swing, Samuel Munoz is having a really good year.
Yeah, as you mentioned, he has a really nice stroke there, and he's been on fire too. I think he had 4 hits the other night. So, yeah, and once again, driving the ball to center field, hitting it down the line. So good to see him hitting the ball, using the whole field as well.
Yep. Okay, man, that's going to do it for the Down on the Farm segment. So we're going to put a bow on this and wrap it up. Anything that happened in the organization yesterday or recently that's happened? Final thoughts, Mark.
Well, I'm just looking at the Quakes. I'm a little bummed I didn't get to see Mike Sirota more before he was promoted. So I definitely need to get out there soon and see some of the other players, Joendry Vargas and a lot of the other guys, and do some interviews. So hope to do that on the next homestand.
They set a franchise record with 13 runs in one inning on Sunday, 25 runs in the game. That was an amazing game to try to cover. That was crazy. So I'm super excited to get you out there. So Mark, thank you so much, man. All
right. Have a good day, Casey.
Hey, for Mark Watkins, I'm Casey Porter. I want to thank all of you wonderful Dodgers dogs for tuning in. You guys and gals are absolutely the best. And as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.